When a woman goes missing, her family and friends start the frantic search to locate her amid mysterious circumstances. The woman's ex-boyfriend is devastated to find out her heartbreaking location. This is the fatal breakdown of Dr. Jacquelyn Kotarac's claustrophobic accident. Bill Moody, a 58-year-old engineering consultant, was preparing for an important business trip to Europe to meet with some potential clients. He had a lot going on this week in preparation for the lengthy trip, but Bill was worried about his now ex-girlfriend. They had been dating, off and on for several years, and currently they were off again. She was supposed to go with him on this trip, but now it seemed like a terrible idea to travel together. Dr. Jacquelyn Kotarac was a general practitioner with a thriving practice in Bakersfield, California. She had recently won an accolade as favorite doctor in a local publication. Jackie wasn't just a great doctor, she was a certified genius. Her IQ was measured at 170, and clearly she had established an impressive career with her strong intellect. Jackie would be turning 50 in just a few days, but she wasn't feeling the birthday joy. Her boyfriend Bill had called off their relationship again, and this time just before a trip to Europe that they were supposed to take together. It was officially a business trip for Bill, but they would also be celebrating her 50th birthday along the way. Now they were breaking up again, and Jackie was feeling down. After a long day in the office, she decided to have a few drinks before calling it a night. After thinking through their latest disagreements, Jackie decided to head over to Bill's to see if they could talk it out and still enjoy the trip together. Bill was heading to bed on this Wednesday night when he heard the doorbell ring. He already knew it would be Jackie, because she had texted several times asking him to talk with her. He was in no mood and could tell that she had been drinking. Bill refused to answer the door and just wanted to get some sleep. He waited it out and thought she may have just given up after 10 minutes of banging. Suddenly, he heard a loud bang on the back door. Now she was yelling through the door, begging him to open up. Bill knew how these conversations would go, and this time he had made up his mind. Jackie wasn't giving up, and the situation was escalating. He looked out the window to see that Jackie had grabbed a shovel and was banging it against the back door. He wasn't sure if she just wanted to get his attention, or if she literally planned to knock the door down. Either way, Bill didn't plan on sticking around to find out. He grabbed his keys and quietly headed out the front door. The racket coming from the back was relentless, and he didn't want to be there to deal with a full confrontation at midnight when she finally made her way into the house. Bill jumped in his car and headed over to a friend's house for the night. He planned to get some sleep and deal with Jackie tomorrow when she had calmed down. But Jackie was livid. She just wanted to talk for a few minutes, and Bill wouldn't open the door. She felt so wronged. They had been together for years, and now Bill wouldn't even speak to her. After banging on the front and back doors for several minutes, she decided to do something more dramatic. She grabbed a shovel and started banging on the back door. This might break the handle and get her inside, where Bill couldn't just avoid talking to her about the ongoing issues. None of this was typical for Jackie, and she knew that this was all a bit much, but she just wanted to see Bill for a few minutes. She looked in the windows and worked her way around the house, but it was locked tight. Jackie decided to climb a ladder attached to the side of the house and just come in through the chimney. It wasn't that tall, so she could probably just slide down a few feet and crawl out the fireplace. She dropped her purse and climbed up the side of the house. She removed the cap on the chimney flue, which kept critters and debris from entering the shaft. She was able to sit on the edge of the chimney and put her feet in, but it was dark outside, which made it tough to see what lay below. There was just the faintest glow of interior lights down at the bottom of the shaft. It's in this moment that Jackie made the tragic decision to go for it. It wasn't much more than a body length to get down to the fireplace opening, so it should take her just a few seconds of squeezing in to slide down to the opening. Jackie raised her arms over her head and started to move down the chimney flue. Once she let go, gravity pulled her down, away from the safety of the opening above. Her shoulders were pinned tightly inside the walls of the 15-inch wide box. She couldn't bend her knees or arms in this tight shaft, and the understanding would have been instant. She would not fit down the rest of the way. The shaft narrowed from a tiny 7 inches in width at the top, down to an impossible 4 inches. Her feet were dangling in the hole, with no way to push herself back up the smooth flue. Her hands had nothing to grab onto, and her legs couldn't bend to gain leverage. Instead of sliding down to the fireplace floor as she had imagined, she just dangled inside the shaft, with her shoulders and chest compressed tightly. Jackie's body was being squeezed tighter and tighter as gravity wedged her further down the narrow hole. It wouldn't be long before she was unable to expand her chest to breathe. She took shallow breaths of dusty air and started shouting for help. She begged Bill to come help her escape. They were currently fighting, but this was a life-and-death emergency. Bill was an engineer and he would figure out the fastest way to free her. She yelled for help over and over. Neighbors later reported hearing faint cries for help, but weren't sure where it was coming from.
Someone down the street said they thought they heard someone yelling quietly for help.
Bill never came to help Jackie, because Bill was gone. Jackie didn't know it, but Bill had left the house before she ever climbed onto the roof. She was just yelling to an empty house. Every second probably felt like an eternity. She had very little space for breathing, and yelling certainly would have taken every bit of effort she could muster. The frantic feeling of claustrophobia certainly wouldn't have helped her breathing, unable to lower her arms, raise her legs, or even take a deep breath. Her contorted body was squeezed in the tiny shaft, and no one even knew. The next afternoon, Jackie's assistant, Caesar Malta, was calling Bill asking if he had seen Jackie. She wasn't answering her phone, and they were supposed to be picking up her passport downtown today. Bill recounted the events of the previous evening and told Caesar to meet him at his house. The men showed up at Bill's to see Jackie's car out front, so they assumed she had made it inside and eventually fell asleep. Caesar and Bill searched the house, but found nothing. There was no sign of Jackie anywhere. It was strange because her purse and phone were on the side of the house, but nothing seemed missing or disturbed. Bill thought a neighbor had helped her, or maybe even called the police. Caesar called Jackie's office and other friends, but no one had seen her. Honestly, Bill figured she was just mad and had gone off quite dramatically to make a statement. Tiana, the office manager of Jackie's practice, felt like something was terribly wrong. She convinced Bill to go with her to the police station to file a missing persons report. Bill really didn't want to make a big fuss and get Jackie even more worked up with the police involved, but Tiana was adamant. Afterwards, he headed back to his house to finish packing for his trip. He prepared his briefcase and packed his luggage, then called it an early night. The flight would be leaving early Friday morning, and he really needed to get some rest. Tiana, Caesar, and Bill were never able to locate Jackie, and it was certainly a strange disappearance. She was intelligent and capable, so it really left them bewildered as to where she might have gone. On Saturday, Bill's house sitter came over to look after the place while he was gone. She was immediately put off by a foul odor. A quick look around brought her to the fireplace, where a small puddle of fluid had collected inside. She grabbed a flashlight and looked up the chimney to see if a raccoon or bird had gotten in there. To her complete horror, she saw a set of feet, and they were human. Dr. Jackie had been found. This one careless decision had cost her everything. Jackie fell unconscious, stopped breathing, and eventually died. It is unknown exactly how long Dr. Jacquelyn Kotarac was conscious in this trap, but the autopsy stated that she died of mechanical asphyxiation sometime in the early morning hours of Thursday. The authorities were notified, and first responders spent 5 hours breaking apart the chimney bricks to remove her from the confining space. It was determined to be an unbelievable accident and stunned the entire community. Jackie was a caring physician and a kind friend to all. A single moment of frustration put her in an impossible situation. Her family and friends want to remember her for all the amazing things she did in her life and the joyful way she lived it.